is in effect for 60 days. It'll ban evictions in counties with high rates of COVID-19 transmission. Public health agencies are asking people across the state to once again wear masks in indoor public places as the Delta variant drives an increase in new COVID-19 cases. And Washburn County Public Health Officer Sherry Nichols adds, get vaccinated.
If people don't get vaccinated, we're not going to ever beat this thing.
Nichols says vaccination remains the best way to combat Delta and any future COVID variants. You're listening to news on Wisconsin Radio Network.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association.
Movie's really good. Lot good. You watch now. No time for grammar. Have to watch Hulu Originals.
I'm coming home, baby, now. I'm coming home now right away.
When you have to watch, you have to watch. Time to have Hulu Originals. Hulu subscription required. Visit hulu.com for plan details.
I'm coming home, baby, now.
Check out the latest weather conditions and cancellations at dailydodge.com. Brought to you by Surefire.
It is 12:34. for community comment, here's your host, Craig Warmbold.
From the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater on beautiful Maple Avenue in downtown Beaver Dam, the site of the new Beaver Dam Area Community Theater Fine Arts Center, which was retrofitted from the former St. Catherine Drexel Elementary School building over the course of a couple years. I'd like to invite our listeners who may or may not be hearing me right now as we troubleshoot some technical issues to check out our video stream right now. If you're listening on AM 1430 WBEV and you have internet access, we would encourage you to go over to dailydodge.com and the video tab. You can watch a live video stream, or today's program. You can watch back later. You can watch back later after this program wraps up. Programming note to our producer back at the station, John Kraft. Should there be any issues or anything, I've got my phone with me, so feel free to text me, and I'll be able to get those no problem. Of course, the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater has been around for over 5 years. Performance that we do want to introduce Ryan Klug, the director of the big event that is going to be hitting the stage. The name of the event, the date, if you would, right here at the onset, sir.
Absolutely. So we are performing a cabaret-style performance called Welcome Home, a BDACT reopening spectacular, and it's going to be the 12th through the 15th of August here, coming up next week, Thursday through Sunday. We'll have a performance Thursday, Friday, Saturday night at 7:30, and then Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Very exciting. How does it feel to get back into the theater?
Well, it's a whirlwind of emotions, to be honest with you. There's we know we're a little scared to get back in there, nervousness and everything like that. We want to shake the rust off and everything, but overall, it's very exhilarating to be back on stage with our friends and our family and being up there performing.
We may explore that topic here in just a little bit, but first let's talk about the big cabaret style show itself. So cabaret style, those uninitiated, what do you mean when you talk about this idea of what you're going to be putting on stage?
Well, we didn't know what we were going to be dealing with this summer as far as who was going to be auditioning, who was going to be coming to see the show. So we didn't want to necessarily pour a lot of money into the rights for a big production if we didn't know if we were going to be able to field a cast and everything. So we had auditions, and then I kind of picked music to go along with the performers that we had, and it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 22 to 23 songs from various musicals, even some standards. We've got some, Michael Bublé song. We have a Michael Bublé song. We've got and we've got some other stuff that wasn't necessarily in musicals. We've got a few songs from movies and everything like that. And so something for everyone, and it definitely follows the past year. So I mean, there missing people being we honor our frontline workers. Lots of different styles, and lots of different messages about being back in the theater.
So thematically, it sounds like you're really cognitively aware of everything that's been going on, yet still providing people an escape, as it were.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. So we start off with a bunch of music about being back in the theater, and then we move on to the being in solitude and feeling of alone, and when we were had to self-isolate and everything like that, and then we move it back into the hope and the soul-searching aspect, and then we close it down with a couple of songs that everyone will remember from Greatest Showman.
From The Greatest Showman. All right. Was that a movie, a play before it was a movie? That
was not.
Such
Nope.
an excellent experience watching that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful movie, and we're going to be performing one song from that and a couple of songs from some other really well-known musicals. So lots of familiar music, and I think that's a really nice way to get people back involved and in the theater.
But at the same time, you wanted to be able to pair the music that you selected with the performer.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we didn't want to have a big dance-heavy show if we weren't going to have a lot of great dancers, and we wanted to make sure that we would have someone to sing "Don't Rain on My Parade," because that's one of the songs that I really wanted to incorporate here, and some others. But I really wanted to see who was going to be able to make the commitment.
That's great.
This summer.
So how many performers do you have lined up for this event?
Just under 20. We've got 4 male leads. We've got 4 female leads, and then we've got a healthy ensemble and 2 co-hosts, 1 stage manager, and a couple of lighting and sound people. So
we've got 4 of those actors here with us today. Why don't you tell us about some of the performers who are not on today's program that will be performing?
Absolutely. So we have Beaver Dam area community theater favorite Judy Hine is going to be a part of this show. I'm sure lots of you listeners out there have come to see her recent shows in hindsight. She's an absolute joy to work with. Having her up, I've never worked with her on stage, and this is our first time, so it's been such a joy working with her. And then we have Luke Hahn, who was the lead in Newsies last summer. The Lefebvres, both Mark and Jessica, who you'll be seeing in a little bit here. And then we've got John Dobratz from Mayville. He's the choir director out there, and Isabel Sabby, who is also a Mayville alum, and she's outstanding. Let's see here. Anyone else that I'm missing? Oh, and Jen, our accompanist, is also going to be singing as well. She's outstanding. She's a music teacher as well. So lots of music teachers and performing people with performance backgrounds in the leads, and then some outstanding ensemble people that would be leads in other shows.
What will the performance look like, not necessarily on stage, but in terms of the audience experience? They're going to be able to come, and there will be refreshments and all that kind of stuff?
As of right now, we're still planning on concessions. That's really a board decision, so I don't really get involved in that kind of thing. But you're going to come in just a normal experience. I will say that the Thursday night performance is going to be a COVID awareness night, so everyone coming that night should be wearing masks. It's going to be a COVID-friendly, not COVID-friendly, but we definitely want to be safe that night. Everyone coming, please wear a mask on Thursday night, just for the sake of everyone else that's coming there on that safe night.
Okay, so somebody that may have some concerns or may want to make sure there's somewhere where people are masked up, Thursday night would be the perfect night for
Absolutely.
that.
We are going to request that everyone wear masks coming that night.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, is the ticket process similar to how it was for some of the summer shows, in that you don't necessarily know the seat you're in until day of?
I believe so. That's a board decision. But yeah, if you go onto the website, I think you'll be able to take a look. And I think we were opening it up for the full house, so I think you're able to pick your seats for this one, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, all right. You can go to the website though and get those tickets, or
absolutely.
Do you have to come to the box office? You can do both.
You can do either, bdact.org, or just come on down to the box office when they're open. And snag some tickets, because we do have a lot of talent on stage. I'm really excited to be performing with these people again, and it's going to be a great show.
And the box office is open right now. It's staffed. I want to say Tuesdays and Thursdays, but that may be above our pay grade.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I know Tuesdays and Thursdays, but you can check the website for hours for that as well. So.
Again, if you're joining us on AM 1430 WBEV, we would invite you to check out the video stream at dailydodge.com. This is the first time we've been outside the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater, and we want to give folks an opportunity. You can hear engines as they roll by. We want to give folks an opportunity that, to maybe see a different part of the theater than they have. And we're here at the front of the building. Again, the former St. Catherine Drexel Catholic Elementary School that had been here for a number of years. You're no stranger to the old site. You put on a number of different shows over there. What does this new building mean to you? And it is still kind of new. I mean, it was dormant for a little while there. But what does this new building mean to you as a director, as a performer?
Well, it gives you a lot more opportunity, especially with the different performance spaces. I've been a part of productions on the second floor and main stage productions on the first floor. I was actually blessed enough to be the director of the first show ever on the main stage, like the first full stage. I think they had a local vocals performance in there, but we did Always Patsy Cline, and that was the very first show up there, like the full show. And it meant a lot to me to be able to be a part of that. Lots of great technical upgrades. We actually borrowed some great lights for this, so it'll be another treat for people that have that maybe haven't seen the lighting that we're going to be using and stuff like that. So, but it's really a joy to be working here. Both places have their nuance and charm, and reasons to like performing there. I really like the facilities here and giving access to anyone that wants to come with the handicap accessible and everything like that. So
that is an excellent point. You got ground level entry to be able to get into the theater. And a lot of times, for a lot of years, that was the big concern with that old theater.
Absolutely. Plus, we have seating designated specifically for those with handicap, with wheelchairs and all that kind of stuff. It's just so much more accessible to everyone.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's also hearing assistance.
Indeed, yep, absolutely. So if you are in need and you come here, you can ask about those headsets and everything like that.
Yeah. So lots of opportunities. That the spirit of the old place. I mean, there was something about it, but it seems like that same sense of community, that same sense of wonder and joy and performance is also taking place here.
Absolutely. Fewer bats at the new place as well, so that's definitely a good thing.
I've shoot a bat or two out of that old place myself. And to go along with this new building, a new logo, which is a newer logo. Again, everything is kind of newer at this point with the dormancy that we experienced, but it does kind of feel like a new age when you're here.
Absolutely, and part of our performance, that if you can come and see it, part of our performance is going to be a love letter to BDACT. And if I have a couple minutes to talk about that, I'd really love to. Well, so I've been reaching out to performers past. If you are a performer, a director, a volunteer in any way that you've been a part of the BDACT family at any point in the history, dating all the way back to 1964. Please send me an email video of yourself saying your name, the first show you were a part of, the year it was, and what you love about BDACT, and then finish it with "Thank you, BDACT." The very last song of this performance is going to be basically a love letter to BDACT and what it has meant to everyone that has been a part of it. And my email address, just if you want to send it to me, is Ryan. That's RYAN. T as in Thomas, M as in Mary, K as in King @yahoo.com. So that's Ryan TMK @yahoo.com.
Ryan TMK @yahoo. And I'm sure we'll make that into a news story here so that folks can do it. Is there a deadline?
Well, we're hoping by this Sunday, because it's going to take me a while to do a lot of editing and all that kind of stuff, because it's going to be performed with people on stage, and also I have some people that are singing in videos, and we're going to be matching all that up, and I have to do that and still, direct the show.
Wow.
So
A lot of stuff going on, but it sounds very exciting.
It's really great. I've heard from people that I've never met, and they've been speaking at length of what they love about the show and everything, or about the theater company, and hearing those stories when you don't even know the people, and sharing the experience and sharing that love for this theater company is a really neat thing.
That's great. We've got a couple of the performers who are going to be on stage as part of this event, waiting in the wings here, as it were. Tell us about the next two that we're going to have. Why don't you do a little informal introduction?
Okay.
We'll take a break before we bring them on, but tell us about the performers that you've got coming up here.
All right. Who would like to go next? Okay, the Lefebvres would like to go next. So I had a chance to direct Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in 2013, and I met Mark Lefebvre at that point, and we've become very good friends. Jess was in Man of La Mancha with me. That was the first show I ever worked with her on. They are now married. They met each other they met each other in through this and everything. So it's a great story. And they are featured performers this summer. I love them both very much. They're supremely talented, and they're both music teachers. Their school districts are so blessed to have them. So they're going to be coming up and talking about the songs they get to sing and the show itself.
So you're the director. You tried to merge the idea of song selection with themes and also match it to the individuals who would be performing.
Yep.
Give us some insight into the song selection that was made for the Lefebvres.
Well, the Lefebvres strong-armed me into picking their own music. No, I'm just kidding. They're giving me looks here. Well, I having worked with them for quite a while, I was able to pick songs, from really any genre just because they're both so multifaceted. They can sing the standards, they can sing classically, they can sing musical theater. So having Swiss Army knives like them is a real blessing as well. So I was able to kind of pick whatever I wanted, and they were willing to sing it.
Well, that's great. We're looking forward to hearing from Mark and Jessica Lefebvre here on WBEV's Community Comment Program. Ryan will bring it back before all things get wrapped up here again live from the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater. You can watch a video stream if you're listening to us on AM 1430 WBEV. Just go to the video tab at dailydodge.com. You can watch it live or watch it back after we wrap up. We are going to take this break. When we come back, we will continue our conversations. Joining us will be Mark and Jessica Lefebvre.
to Community Comment and Craig Warmbold.
And we're back here on Community Comment, broadcasting live from right outside the front of the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater on beautiful Maple Avenue in downtown Beaver Dam. For those of you listening to us on AM 1430 WBEV, we invite you to, if you have internet access, check out our video tab at dailydodge.com. You can watch a live video right now of our conversation or watch back at any time that you would like. We're talking about the big event that's coming up, and my plan for using my notes was thwarted by the sun. I can't really read the notes that I have on my phone, and and apparently I've already forgotten what Ryan told me, so I'm going to introduce my guests, and my first question to them will be, hey, what are the dates of the show again? So our guests are no stranger to WBEV's Community Comment. Mark Lefebvre, Jessica Lefebvre, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And why don't you tell our listeners the dates of the big show that's coming up?
So our Welcome Home production is going to be open a week from tonight, actually.
From tonight,
yeah.
Okay.
So the 12th through the 15th of August, Thursday through Saturday at 7:30, matinee on Sunday.
Very good. And ticket prices are something that's
$16. Thank you.
Beautiful. Well done.
To one of our co-hosts, Natalie, off camera.
And
catch us up on that.
Yeah, Natalie. Natalie. We'll talk to her in just a little bit. And we grouped them by name, so Natalie and Natalie are next. So
right.
Lefebvre's now and LNN, so that worked out really good. The last time we had you on was to talk about working, I believe, which is you're the music director at the high school.
Yes, I teach at Beaver Dam High School, and then the last 5 shows, I think, at we started the area high school production. So yeah, I was on talking about working, and that was a fun show.
How'd it go? Good?
I think it went well. The kids did well. We participate in a program called the Jerry Awards through the Overture Center, and they had a lot of good feedback for us.
Great.
So yeah, we get to find out what we're doing well. Some places where we could seek to improve. And it's 3 different people that review the show, so it's interesting. Like, one person will be like, you were so great at this, and the other person's like, you could really do better at that exact same thing. Like, well, what changed? You just saw it one day apart. But no, we had a good time, and I think the kids enjoyed themselves as well.
Exciting. So that was on the stage here?
That was on
high school.
That was on stage here.
It was on stage here. How did it feel to get back on stage for that performance? For this performance now, we could tie them both in together, but I mean, the point being,
right.
Nobody's been on stage really for like a year and a half.
It was nice. We had very limited audience members for that show. I mean, it was, even a month and a half ago or whatever. Times are changing, week by week, day by day sometimes with our situation here. But it was really nice. I know my students who also were in Beaver Dam High School's production with me, it was just nice to have audience members to react to stuff. There was some songs where we had audience members crying because we were able to connect with them that well. So, and laughing at jokes and, just kind of experiencing the show with us, not just, the performers, was just performing for cameras before. So, and I hope that, the people that did participate, watched our show virtually. I hope they enjoyed the experience as well. One of our reviewers actually watched it virtually, and she said she really enjoyed being able to see the different perspectives and close-ups and that sort of a thing. So I don't know. I hope I won't ever need to do it again, but if I had to, it was a pretty good production.
Now, Jessica, you are you've got a very similar role at Horicon High School, music director, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, so I teach 7th to 12th grade choirs. I also teach a couple of computer science classes. That's been a blast to do, but so I do run the musical there. We got moved to the spring for this year, so very excited to see what that has for us. I helped out with Mark's show working. I actually was the one behind the camera, the computer, hollering at our camera guys who they really did an awesome job. It just was so cool seeing those young men work their talents and do stuff like that. And then I also helped out with the middle school production here, The Giants in the Sky.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And as Ryan kind of alluded to earlier, you guys met here at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater.
Yeah, we met. What was I saying? 2014.
I go by show.
we were in the Wizard of Oz. We hardly even spoke in that show. I was backstage. Jess was on stage. She kind of did a little assistant backstage directing, like conducting. There was some parts where she was needed. But so we didn't really get close there, and did a handful of shows since then, and then Into the Woods we kind of was the spark of our relationship, and then I don't know, been married for a couple years and stuff. I guess I don't know.
Well, congratulations to you guys. I mean, it's such a great story, and it really goes to speak to the power and the impact that the theater, that culture here in Beaver Dam has in people's lives.
Absolutely. I mean, that was one of the draws for me to end up teaching here in Beaver Dam. I was teaching in Columbus for a while, and I had a good time there. But when there was a position available here in Beaver Dam, I was like, well, I've already got a community theater family. Why not just be closer to it rather than having to drive 20 minutes in and out of rehearsal every night, or to see my friends. So that's, for me, yeah, absolutely, this theater family.
So now here you are in 2021, starting off on a new adventure with this show that starts again next Thursday. How's this experience been? What has it been like for you guys? You've been in so many shows together. Is this just another show for you? What is it like, Jessica?
It's been a blast. I have just been very anxious to sing, to get on stage again. My students will always ask me, well, why are you a music teacher? It's like, because I get to sing every day. And so it's been kind of weird not getting a chance to do that with, a group of people who are, involved and invested in something like that. So it's been, whenever we get done with rehearsal, does anyone want to run anything again? Yes, I would love to run something. Just because I love that kind of thing, and just getting to be on stage and to sing and have fun.
How about you, Mark?
Yeah, it's a different experience. Often with a typical, through plot show, you get handed a script and you can see where the beginning is and where the middle is and where the end is, and I'm going to say these lines at this point. And with this sort of a show, we're able to make changes as we need to. We can, Ryan was mentioning that I strong-armed him into picking my own song, but he picked a different song by Michael Bublé that I wasn't that familiar with, and then there's this one that I've known since college, and I've never been able to perform it before, and I was like, I feel like this really fits the theme of what we're going for right here. And so, eventually he's like, you know what, yeah, do it. Like, let's switch that song out. But if we were doing, some Oklahoma or something, I couldn't be like, Ryan, I'd rather not sing Poor Judd is Dead. Let's do this different Rodgers and Hammerstein. Like, it doesn't work that way. You got to stick with it. So that makes it fun. We're able to, we realized, I don't know, a week or two ago, we're like, maybe we should move this song from the middle to the very end. It might be a stronger closer. And so, like, we can, and Ryan's cool about that, like, if we've got an idea, we can share that idea. We can see, like, where should we take this? How can we improve it? Natalie and Dan get to make a whole bunch of jokes throughout the show. We're still tweaking things, like, okay, how can we make this even more funny? Okay, maybe we got to cut a little bit to shorten up that joke. But, it's definitely a different experience from, here's a script, say these words, find out what the meaning is behind these words. We can ad-lib a little bit. We can build from it.
Well, Michael Bublé is no slouch. What are the challenges that come with performing a song by somebody who's so well known and so dynamic?
Yeah, that one in particular, that one pushes my range. I'm kind of lucky that I feel like Bublé and I have similar ranges. He's clearly better than me, but I do feel like we have similar ranges. So, like, the climax of that piece does hit right about where, like, if it had to go any higher, I'd probably be having troubles. But it worked out really nicely for me. It's different tapping into emotions for that more of a jazz standard sort of a song. I think it's actually from a musical, but it's, like, been performed so much outside of the show that you don't even know it. It's the smell of the grease paint, roar of the crowd, something like that, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know who it's like. I don't know much about that show, but it's it's so associated with Bublé now. But just tapping into those emotions, and then compared to another song, I get to sing. I'm singing "Alone in the Universe" from Seussical the Musical. I think that the different changes in style of music that we can do also is something interesting. If one of the songs we sing isn't quite your jam, probably the next one will be. Something. But "Alone in the Universe" is a soft and contemplative song, and about being alone, and then "Feeling Good's about feeling good, and it's in your face. That's just two of them that I'm singing on. Not to mention the 19, 20, 21 other songs that are going on. There's and we do a good job of switching between ensemble songs and solo songs, and just lots of variety. That's cool.
And Bublé very seldom sings anything from Seussical, so I mean,
Don't remember the last time I saw one.
Bublé and Seussical with one ticket. Jessica, tell us about what you're doing in this performance.
So I'm singing a variety of more of your musical theater style pieces, which I really enjoy and I'm super excited about. It's always been a little bit, for me, the tricky part with this is that we're singing single songs from these shows where normally you get this chance, you'd get the whole show to be able to create this character and define how you sing and what the choices that you're making, and here we only have that one song to do it. So you get to show off a little bit with the different styles and things, but also like in my brain I'm like, oh, I heard this artist do it this way and I love it and I want to emulate that, and there are some places where that's just not my voice style, and so it's been really fun. It's been challenging for sure, but fun to kind of play with that and make it my own. And I'm singing something from Frozen and Funny Girl, and I'm super excited.
Getting back on the stage, too.
Getting back on the stage.
Right. So, again, the performances start next week, Thursday, here at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater. We've got the street sweeper coming by right now. How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Loyal listener, the Beaver Dam Department of Public Works. We want to thank them for all the hard work that they do here on a daily basis, keeping the city looking great. And this really does look great out here. I mean, you spent some time at the old community theater building, both of you guys, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
Some of those summer performances like Wizard of Oz would have been over at the high school, of course, but, so much centered around that part of the world in the community theater for some time. What are your thoughts about, here we are, if you're watching on video, we're right outside the front facade of the former St. Catherine Drexel School, now the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater Fine Arts Center. Quite a change.
Yeah, it is. I wasn't at the Spring Street space for all that long in the grand scheme of things. I'll listen to my students, and they speak with such fondness and nostalgia. Some of them did shows from 3rd grade through high school in some cases, doing their productions there. I know plenty of students did senior pictures on stage there. They were, as the building was being sold, they were like, can I sneak in? I want to get senior pictures quick before we're done. But this new facility, like Ryan said, the accessibility is, that's just,
it's huge,
every time I see somebody who, comes in, in a wheelchair, just as an example, every time, that in itself is reason that we need to have this space. And I know there's family members that are coming to 2 and 3 performances of a 2-weekend show because they can now. Whereas before, it was we want our family member to see this, but we're gonna have to carry them up those steps. And that's not. I get why it was that way. Community theater, when they bought that building, that was the only option kind of that they had. And but I'm so glad that we've got the accessibility that we've got now. And there's more space too. Like, we're able to run multiple. For working, we had 3 different rehearsals for the same show going on at the same time. Got choreography on stage, music in a hall, and acting in a different space. Like, so that's nice. And I haven't been in too much to see like the costumes and the props, but we had a tiny like attic kind of room for props before, and now we've got 2 separate rooms. One room for small hand props, one room for bigger props like costumes. There's shelves, racks and racks. So just having space is just nice. We can, not need to worry about getting rid. Some set pieces would be beautiful and we'd have nowhere to put them. So all right, we're just in the dumpster. And now we can talk about what we can keep. So that's some of the reasons that I'm really enjoying the space.
Yeah, I agree. It's been nice. We're still getting used to being able to use, like, we have there's a studio on the 3rd floor that now has it's a dance space that has a wall of mirrors that we can use, and remembering that we have that space too is not, we don't have to be on stage for all of the choreo. We can actually go up and we can use that that extra space, and that's for me. I forget that it's there because I'm not used to having it. So
I think that's new during the pandemic, during our shutdown. That's why it's new. But yeah, one of our cast members is like, I just want to run this one in front of the mirrors one time, and that'll help me see, like, if my hand is here but everybody else is up here, I need to get my hand higher and match that as well. For me, that's not how I think, but yeah, let's do it. I'm open to anything. More rehearsal, the better.
It's great to see so many changes going on that have benefited what goes on here at the community theater. Jessica, tell our listeners why they should make it a point to mark next week Thursday, and then all those dates that were mentioned earlier thereafter over the 2 weeks to check out the grand reopening spectacular here at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater.
Yeah, so come by August 12th through the 15th. This show just brings together a bunch of people. We actually have a few cast members who this is their first time on stage, and it's been really fun getting to work with them and kind of, help each other show them the ropes and refresh our own memory because it's been so long. So getting the chance to go out and enjoy some music and enjoy just that positive, happy atmosphere, get out of the funk and just really get out there and do something different. I mean, this is different after a year of not being able to do much of anything. So just kind of remind ourselves what that's all about.
Mark?
I think the variety, like that's what I'm liking, is the different types of music, the different size of ensembles that we've got, and it's all, even though there's not necessarily a plot through it, the songs are grouped into some themes that sort of reflect what we felt in the last year. So I think it's, a well put together show, and it's gonna be a good time. Only $16. I mean, come on.
And you can go to bdact.org for those tickets for more information, or you can come here to the box office. It's open right now on Maple Avenue, or right between Spring and Center Streets here in Beaver Dam, and you can get those directly from the ticket booth. I want to thank you guys very much for joining me here.
Yeah, thank you.
Once again, that is Jessica and Mark Lefebvre. We are talking about the grand reopening spectacular. It opens 1 week from tonight. Here at the Fine Arts Center in Beaver Dam. We'll take a break. When we come back, more guests that'll be performing in that show when we return here on Community Comment.
It's past 1 o'clock. Now back to Community Comment and Craig Warmbold.
And we're back here on Community Comment. We are talking about the Grand Reopening Spectacular, which is opening at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater right here where we're broadcasting live from next week, Thursday, and it continues through Sunday, the 12th through the 15th. I get that right? All right, very good. Sorry, I can't read my notes here because of the blinding sun outside the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater. It is a beautiful day here, and we are broadcasting live. And as a reminder to our listeners who are joining us on terrestrial radio, if you have an internet connection, please go over to dailydodge.com, and under the video tab, you'll be able to watch today's program, either live now or watch back anytime after the fact. Our guests on our next segment are performers that are going to be on the stage as part of this as well. We want to welcome into the conversation. Really hoping I get this right. I don't have my pen and paper with me, but it's Natalie Nelson.
Yep.
Natalie.
Yes, correct.
Natalie.
Yep, with an N.
Natalie.
Yes.
That's such an interesting name. Is that a family name?
No.
Okay. All right. Was there a misspelling on the birth certificate?
Nope.
Okay. Just
wanted
very
to be a
unique
little
name.
Unique. Yep.
All right. Have you ever met another Natalie?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
A lot of Natalies.
A lot of Natalies. Yes. Speaking of which, our other guest is a Natalie. She's from the Franke family. Natalie Franke. Natalie, thank you so much for joining us. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. You were in Mark Lefebvre's high school production this summer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was in Working this summer.
What did you tell us real quick what you did in Working, if you would.
So I played the character Alan, who was like a social organizer, community organizer, and so just was like hyping people up. And then I was in the ensemble for other songs.
Great. Yeah, Working kind of was like a snapshot of a bunch of different careers and kind of conversations from people in those careers. And did that give you a good insight into the working world here?
Yeah, it was really cool because you got to see like different jobs being like portrayed, and it came from a set of interviews that they adapted into a musical. So it was like real people stories.
Great. Now you're in the summer production here. The Grand Reopening Spectacular, which again hits the stage next Thursday. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing, Natalie.
So I'm in the ensemble for this show. So basically all the big numbers with a lot of dancing and group songs, that's where I come in. Yeah.
Is it fun being on the stage?
Yeah, no, it's really fun, especially after not really doing anything for a year and then getting to come back and do 2 shows back to back. It's really fun.
What kind of history do you have here at the theater?
Well, I've been doing shows since I was 8. My first one, I was in Twinderella and Joseph, both at the same time.
And now, Twinderella, that would have been the Teletail Theater, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But Joseph, that was one of the main stage productions.
Yeah.
So you've had some experience both with the youth troupe and then with the adult performances.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and that one was directed by Ryan, so kind of cool coming back and doing another show with him.
Yeah. And what are you doing in this show?
Like I said, just ensemble, just big numbers.
Well, I know, but what songs, like, for example,
yes.
are you involved in?
So one of the really big ones, we're doing "Come Alive" from Greatest Showman.
Oh, great. Okay.
So that's the big dance number that we all love, but secretly dread because it's exhausting.
With all the time that you've spent on the theater, that year and a half where you really couldn't do anything, you're in a theatrical family. I know your mom, Bonnie, has been in a number of plays here. That must have been rough.
Yeah, it was not fun. I know we did some virtual stuff. Last summer we did a virtual cabaret, and so some friends and I got together to perform Cell Block Tango from Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And so we recorded it. And it was still like early on in the pandemic, so we were outside all like 6 feet apart, and then we actually like choreographed the number.
So a little something that you were able to pass the time with. But it's got to feel good to get back out in front of an audience again.
For sure.
What is the rehearsal process been like for just to get back with a group of people and be doing this and going through the motions and being on the stage?
Yeah, it's a change because I was going from just doing really nothing to coming in almost every day for working to practice, and then coming here 3 times a week to do practices for this show.
What kind of advice does your mom give you about theater?
Oh, I don't know.
I know she's given you some.
She always tells me to smile.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that because you don't do that enough?
No,
Is that, okay,
not really.
all right. Is it hard to sing and smile at the same time?
Not really. You just gotta like get into it.
Okay. All right. It's all about presentation at the end of the day. You have advice for your mom?
No.
No. Yeah. Fair enough.
She's got it.
Yeah. Now, our other guest is Natalie. And we've already done the name thing, so I'm not going to take you through that again.
Okay.
But unlike Natalie, you've been around the theater for a few years, but it seems like you're more sporadic with your involvement.
Yeah. I like to be in the audience.
What plays have you done?
For BD Act, I've done Thoroughly Modern Millie, which was way back in like 2012. I just recently did A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, and now this one.
Okay, all right. And you've done some stuff in high school, and you're from Beaver Dam.
Yep.
What brought you back out into the world of theater?
Yeah, so I actually teach at the Beaver Dam Unified School District. I'm the teacher of the deaf and hard of hearing, and I work with Mark, and he kind of talked me into helping him with some of his summer musicals, and then I just kind of got back into the spin of things.
Well, what is it about theater?
I would say it's the adrenaline rush when you're on stage and the lights are on you and the music is, going, and then the audience comes in and it just, their reactions and their applause is a big adrenaline rush.
I imagine. And what kind of training have you had? Have you taken in your life? Did you take music lessons? How did you get to be where you're?
So I started with piano lessons, and then I was a percussionist in high school, and then I did choir in high school as well. Otherwise, I don't have much experience like the Lefebvres and Ryan. Like, I work with deaf and hard of hearing kids who, have trouble hearing. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, it's got to be, also make you appreciate some of the things that you're able to do on stage.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Now, tell us about the role that you have in this production.
Yep. So I am co-hosting with Dan Ladness.
Oh, now Dan, he's kind of dry and boring, I've noticed in my conversations.
He is
with
very
him.
used to working alone. So now with me as a co-host, I do think he struggles a little bit sharing the stage. He'll start his bit and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I have to add you." So it is.
Sounds like Dan.
It's a good challenge for Dan, and it's been kind of funny for me watching him react. And we have some good lines. So
you're the host. Does this mean that there's room for ad-libbing, or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. After we kind of have a group of songs that have a certain theme. After each theme, we come out to introduce the next theme. We make fun of Dan a lot. Or I make fun of Dan a lot, and he just kind of accepts it. So.
And Dan, of course, is no stranger to the theater either.
Correct.
Here has been in a number of different performances. Thematically, and we were talking about this to Ryan earlier, but you mentioned it. There does seem to be, even though these are different songs from different genres and different types of, whether it be movies or plays, there does seem to be a theme that develops through the course of this production. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so all of the themes, we kind of started out with, being back at the theater. Like, we've been away with COVID, and a lot of our themes actually come from COVID, like being lonely and secluded. And then we kind of end it with just our love for BD Act in general. And it's a good feeling.
And then you and Dan tell a few jokes.
Yeah, basically.
What is your advice to somebody who may be thinking about coming to the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater to see one of these plays, this performance that's coming up on Thursday?
So if you're still precautious with COVID, on Thursday night we are doing the show with masks, so you can come in and wear your mask. Otherwise, the other nights, it's a great show. Like, these guys have worked so hard. It's really fun because I'm friends with a lot of them. Just to see them being back on stage is also like a little adrenaline rush, because you can see how much they love it.
And Natalie, I asked Natalie about her history as far as musical education and that type of thing. What kind of experience did you have? Growing up in a theatrical household, does everything come from mom and dad? Did you train formally?
Well, so I've been doing like choir through school since 2nd grade. We were kind of forced to do it in like the elementary school, but I would have done it either way because I really like singing. And then I kept up with choir in middle school and high school, and now I do not only choir at the high school, but I'm in the a cappella groups that we have.
Oh, what's the name of that a cappella group?
It's called Treble Threat.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What, do you guys have any performances coming up that you need to plug?
No.
On hiatus right now?
Yeah. It's usually just during the school year.
Sure. And now, Nadalyn, you are, in addition to being one of the co-hosts along with Dan Lansness, you are in the ensemble.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that experience.
So that's also fun. I'm not a big soloist. I like singing, but I like, being in the back. I'm also pretty tall, so I'm used to staying in the background, and hopefully no one really pays attention to me much. But I like the singing and dancing part. It's fun. Makes me happy.
Now, if you would, and we'll start with you, Natalie, tell our listeners why they should make it a point to check out the grand reopening spectacular at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater that opens 1 week from tonight.
Well, there's a few reasons, but one, it's just such a fun show, and it's like our first main stage kind of show coming back, and it's like such a tradition just to do the big show, so it's great to be able to do that. And then also our cast member, Luke Hahn, he's amazing, and if anyone watching saw Newsies, he was in that, and he's still just as great, so definitely come see it for him and everyone else, but I love Luke's voice.
And Nadalyn, you wrap it all up for us. Why do you think folks should make sure they make it a point to check out this performance?
Definitely to see me. And Dan, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, the songs are just really meaningful, and we've all worked really hard. And it's just fun to be back in the theater again and see a live performance again.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you guys very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, Nadalyn Nelson and Natalie Franke. We do have to take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. Here on Community.
Are you a veteran, or do you know a veteran who needs help? Those who brave
1:33, and now back to Community Comment and Craig Warmbold.
And we're back here on Community Comment, broadcasting live from the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater building on Maple Avenue in beautiful downtown Beaver Dam, broadcasting right out front, in fact, with members of the Big Summer Show. It is their grand reopening spectacular. We've had an opportunity to speak with 4 of those performers today, and we've got the director, the visionary behind this program, which opens next Thursday, 1 week from tonight, and continues through Sunday. $16 tickets available right now, bdact.org, or you could drive right to the theater right now and go to the box office. It's open, and there are happy, smiling faces waiting in there for you as we speak. Ryan, a great group of actors that you've introduced us to here on the program today, and it really seems to be, I'm getting excited about seeing this. I imagine that being able to finally sit back and watch once everything's done, when you're a director, to see everything on the stage, it's got to be a great feeling.
It is, and I didn't mention this before, but I'm actually in the show too. So
you are?
Yeah, I didn't mention that before, but I got that was kind of a bargain I made. Since they didn't really have anything coming up this summer, and I didn't want to direct a full musical because I didn't want to. I'll be honest, I didn't want to put in that many hours not knowing if we were going to have a cast and people coming to see the show, if we were going to be able to sell any tickets for it. So when they said put something together, I was like, absolutely, I put this together, and I'm like, I'll do this if I can also be in it, so I get to sing some songs as well.
Well, give us some insight into what is like the song that you want to like be able to perform at something like this.
Well, I being in charge, I got to kind of pick and choose whatever I wanted to sing. But I had a chance to work at Lion King on Broadway when I was in New York going to school, and there was a song that I had always wanted to sing for a live audience, and I'm going to sing that one in this show as well. It's called "Endless Night," and it's when it has that spirit of being all alone, like I know a lot of us felt, when we were self-isolating, when we were staying at home and all that kind of stuff. So that's one, and I get to sing "The Prayer" with Jess Lefebvre, and I love that song. That's Celine Dion and Josh Groban or Andrea Bocelli, whichever one you want. But those are the two that I really love singing the most.
Tell us about some of the other songs that are going to be our listeners, those
Absolutely.
who attend this, are going to be treated to when they come to the performances.
So we've got a good mix. I think we've got a really eclectic mix of old and new. There's No Business Like Show Business from Annie Get Your Gun. We've got a song from The Wiz called Home. All I Need Is the Girl from Gypsy. As If We Never Said Goodbye from Sunset Boulevard. We have songs from Frozen 2. We have a song from Rent, Seasons of Love. Songs from The Prince of Egypt. Songs from Godspell, Spamalot, Ragtime, Dear Evan Hansen. Just so many different songs, and all of them are beautiful in their own way. And we've got some great performers singing them. So
yeah, and it sounds like there's stuff there for a wide variety for an audience, so young and old alike.
Absolutely, we've got some funny songs. We've got some very deep spiritual songs. We've got a whole segment about religion and finding spirituality and faith and everything like that, and prayer, because I know that was a big part of the pandemic as well. Yeah. So we try to touch on all the different themes. The feelings, being scared, being alone, and then also reopening and finding joy in the things that we found joy in prior to COVID.
Yeah. And then it's interesting to hear you say something like Frozen 2.
Yeah.
Which is much more modern than maybe some of the other. Well, there is a lot of modern plays in there, but I bet that's the newest one.
Well, I'm not sure if that came out before The Greatest Showman or not. Whichever one of those two. Yeah, but yeah. So we are doing Into the Unknown, and that's part of our segment honoring the first responders and the people in the front lines. Because at that time they were going into the unknown, and there's another song from Scarlet Pimpernel called "Into the Fire," and those two are going to be honoring our frontline workers that were I'm sure just as scared as everyone else when all this was happening, and they were brave enough to just kind of jump right into that fire.
Wonderful. It's great to see the theater world acknowledge everything that everybody in the healthcare world is doing to try to hopefully make us as safe as we possibly can. It sounds like again the theater will be playing it safe with this masks, especially for next Thursday's show.
Absolutely, COVID safe night Thursday night. Everyone that's coming, please wear masks that night. Mask up, and you won't be alone. Come and wear those masks and enjoy the show. And I wanted to touch on that too, Craig. I think over the last year, so many different groups were just kind of asking for money to stay afloat, and you'd be donating, and you really all you had was the which is noble. You had that feeling of you did something to help, but the best way to help your local theater is to buy a ticket and come see the show, and you're getting something out of it. $16 is really not much when compared to so many other forms of entertainment and everything like that, and the talent that we've got up here, the song selection. I can name one or two songs I think that are just worth that price of admission by themselves.
And that doesn't mean that you can't make a donation to the Beaver
Absolutely.
Dam Area Community Theater.
No, but the easiest way and to get something in return is to buy a ticket.
And of course, you get to see all the 24 or so performances and meet the wonderful hosts that you've got lined up, Dan Lansness, and of course, we had a chance to meet.
They are a treat.
Nataline. When you talk about something like that, this is a show that's basically kind of unscripted in a sense, in that the flow and the vision of it is yours. Then you have to hand the reins over to two co-hosts. How much of that, Dan is an interesting guy. We've seen him on he used to be with Sports Madison, if I'm not mistaken.
Comedy
Sports Madison. So you've got an improvisational guy. How much leeway have you got with somebody like Dan Lansness when you're like, all right, we need you to host this with Nataline?
Well, so basically at the beginning of the summer, I talked to both of them, and I kind of said, all right, I need an interjection here, and I need an interjection here, and here's where we're going. And I kind of gave them ideas, and they kind of worked on them, on their own to come up with stuff, and it was very organic, and I really I like finding ways to let each specific performer shine. And Dan is one of the funniest guys I've ever met. If you ever have a chance to play poker with him, it's basically 2 hours of just straight laughter.
Wow.
But I trust them, and then we'll get down to the nitty gritty, and I'll start saying, all right, this bit is going on a little too long here. Let's find ways to kind of prune it. Still get the same joke, and because obviously we don't want like 5 minute interactions between songs and stuff. We want to keep the action moving, but I trust them implicitly. I honestly, everyone in this cast and crew, I trust implicitly. We've got so many great people behind the scenes as well, and Dan and Natalie are just outstanding together. So,
well, I can't wait to see how he defies your expectations then, because I'm sure if we're talking about Dan, it should always be pretty interesting. Again, tickets still on sale though. Right now, you can get them bdact.org. Box office over here. Pretty reasonable price for a night of entertainment.
Absolutely. Come on down. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to sing for you all again, and I'm excited for you to all hear these wonderful performers. And Dan and I have a little pseudo rivalry going, so I also have some jokes with him during the show as well. So.
Well, you'll have to go to one of the shows to find out more. In the meantime, wrap it all up for us. Tell our listeners everything they need to know and why they should check all this out.
All right. So if you've been hankering to get back out and see live theater, this is your shot. We've got 20 performers or so singing songs from well-known musicals, movies, standards. And it's going to be a little over 2 hours of just pure enjoyment, and it's about community, and we are a community, and we're a community theater, and we want to share our passion with you. We want you to come out and share your love of being entertained with us.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much for coming out to the theater today and sharing your story with us. Again, that is Ryan Klug. He's the director of the big reopening spectacular here at the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater Fine Arts Center. 1 week from today is opening night, and then there's shows all weekend long. $16 tickets. Again, bdact.org. Right now, you can come to the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater, park your car. There's plenty of parking, and you can go in and conduct that transaction in person. Do want to thank our guests for joining us today, Mark and Jessica Lefevre, Natalie Nelson. Did I get that right? Natalie Nelson. Sorry, Natalie. And also, of course, Natalie Franke for joining us on the program. That is going to do it for today's Community Comment.